Hello, everybody. Welcome. Jesse Lucas here, coming to you from the Washington, D.C. area. And I'm very excited because this is actually the first time that I have done a full specific presentation on gut peptide activation. And I know that's a mouthful. I'm going to bring it back, share with you where this fits into this entire evolution on the direction of where wellness is going. But I'll tell you, this is very exciting space for me because as a personal trainer, as a yoga teacher, as a nutrition coach, someone who's put a lot of work and study into the deeper levels of health. I do have my master's in health arts and science. I can see the little tiny corners of wellness where needs are not being met. And I have to say, you don't have to be a wellness nerd like me to know this is what's happening in the gut health space. You probably are experiencing some things yourself or know somebody who is. So before I dive in, please grab a pen, grab your device, however you best take notes, because I'm about to peel back the curtain on, we know gut health is a huge story in why we're either feeling good or not feeling good. My hope is that you learn something new today. So you'll want to take note in case you do have questions to come back to that. So the lens we're looking at this through is through LifeVantage, the company LifeVantage, their activation story, which is always evolving. So let me frame this a little bit and just proper disclosures. I am a representative for LifeVantage. We are a publicly traded company. There is massive science behind what we have. Um, we do not claim to cure, treat, mitigate any diseases. We can show you where to fact check any of this information that we share, but just a little disclosure before we dive in because we're going to share some juicy things here. So when I say LifeVantage is the activation company, and I use the word the, not because we are trailblazing. The whole concept of what started us, and I'll share a little bit more about that with you, how this product evolution came to be and where it took us into the gut health space, is through a concept that uses low dose synergy of natural ingredients to activate pathways, processes that are already built into your body. So we're not talking a crutch. We're talking about simply making your body work like it should. We like to say take it to make it. So taking these LifeVantage products to make your body do the things it needs to do to create health. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Real quick, activation versus supplementation. If you've seen any of our other presentations before, you probably know this story, but if this is new or if you're still learning, medication has its place and we are grateful for that when it is necessary. It's not always the best thing for creating longevity, for creating wellness. It can be life-saving or even, necessary at times. But when you're looking to create that baseline of wellness, people often turn to supplementation. Supplementation also has its space. It will fill in a gap. It will add or boost something. But what we're talking about here is flipping switches, turning on your body's signals to help certain baseline functions like your detoxification systems, like antioxidant production. We'll talk about a few more here to help them work properly. So these are systems that are already built into your body, and we're just flipping to the switch to make them work better because life does come at you every day. I don't know about you, but I'm certainly getting a day older every single day. I'm certainly living under the pressures of what life on this planet is. And I don't buy the story that aging has to mean degeneration. And look, if you're young, congratulations for being a part of this conversation early. I jumped on this wagon in my 30s, and I can tell you now, getting closer to 50, I am so glad that I did because life does get out of balance. My life, I've been through some big T traumas. I travel a lot. The 3 kids out of 4 still in the house. Everything is pulling in so many directions. I'm just in the process of getting some really deep blood work done, and I'm really seeing the effects of what being proactive looks like. And it looks like really balanced numbers. And I hope to share with you what that can look like for you. So, things when they do get out of balance, these are some very common things. I see it all the time in my peers. I see it in my clients. I see it in the people who come to me asking me how to activate their best potential. You might be experiencing some of these things, the brain and cognition, the muscles and the movement. I saw that a lot in the yoga rooms and the fitness floor, the stiffness, the soreness, the slow recovery. Energy and metabolism is a really big conversation right now. And we're going to dive into that part specifically. And listen, I'm going to be frank with you here. I truly believe every body needs activation. We live in a world right now where our nutrition quality is poor, our air quality is poor, our water quality is poor. You can't get away from chemicals no matter how much you try to clean up your home, your body, your cleaning products, all of it. And I think it's too much inundation. It's too much inundation for what our cells are designed for, and we do need support. So I have to highlight this because this is the foundation behind everything that we stand by. Our whole Take It to Make It conversation started with this little beautiful blue bottle, Protandim NRF2. I'm not going to go deeply into this, but it is worth looking at because lowering oxidative stress, which is what this product is proven to do, is kind of the center of the hub of the wheel and where our whole activation product line started and how we continue to ask, what else can we activate? So what we know about this NRF2 is simply the pathway in your cells that tells your cells to make its own antioxidant enzymes. They're a million times more powerful than antioxidants that you can consume either through food or supplementation. It's the center of your detoxification processes, and it helps your body's ability to repair. So when we go into the gut peptide conversation in just a moment, it's important to recognize that these things do operate hand in hand. So, without further ado, like I said, we are always asking at LifeVantage, being an innovation science based company, what else can we activate? And while we did have some great solutions in the gut space, like we had a great prebiotic, have still a great probiotic, daily wellness, which is in our immune category, also is a great postbiotic. We were missing activating gut peptides, and we just added to our beautiful lineup. You see that beautiful blue bottle Protandim. If you don't know about our True Science Liquid Collagen, that is a glow up. I promise you, you are missing if that is not in your body today. Just over a year ago, all the way on the right there, we launched our mind body system. It is a natural GLP-1 activation system. And in order to really get like to the next level, we have now added this P84, which consists of Phyto Power 1 and Phyto Power 2. So you see the two packages, each one has a little sachet in there. You dump those together in a glass of water or whatever you want, add it to your smoothie, mix it up down the hatch. And you are taking care of your microbiome. And I'll talk about what that is. Because no matter what, you have a microbiome, and no matter what, it is influencing how you feel in this game of life. And if you are like me, and I hope that you are one of those folks who wants to make the most out of life, who wants to be as happy, healthy, functional as you can for as long as you are here. So here we are. We are at Take It to Make It for gut peptides. So we can take Protandim NRF2 to make our body's own antioxidants. We can take this P84 to make our own gut peptides. So gut peptides are the little information signals produced in your gut that help to regulate, repair, and restore your gut. Your gut has a lot of different functions, and when any one of those little bits is off, you feel it. You feel it in not digesting food properly, in not being able to uptake nutrients properly, in gas, bloating, having backed up stool, in having lack of communication to your brain about the nutrients necessary, and what to do with the foods that are coming in. So your gut is a big space. It's 30 feet long. I believe that's about the length of a school bus if you laid it all out. So there's a lot of space to cover here. So when we're looking at how these two parts of this one product works together, it's important to realize it's called P84 because there's 84 different elements that are going into this, and I don't want to get overcomplicated with it, but it goes to show that it really does take quite a bit of offense to help regulate, repair, and restore here. So, just a little tiny 101 about your gut. We've probably all heard that our gut is our second brain. And that is because so many of the signals are produced that your body needs to know what's going on are produced in your gut. I have my own story just a few days into taking this when I first started a couple of months ago. I struggle with mental health. I'm very persistently positive. I have a lot of tools in my toolbox. I am highly motivated, type A. I keep my head above the line, but it's hard. And a few days in, I felt a sparkle that I hadn't felt in a long time. And when you look up where those happy hormones are created, they're created in your gut. So when I say it's your second brain, it really has so much to do with so many different functions in your entire body. So think of it as like this orchestrator that if you're touching on, you know, mental health, digestive health, metabolic health, the influence over your other organs, everything is orchestrated by the biochemistry going on in your gut and what those microbiomes in your gut, what your microbiome is doing, because those microorganisms, we need to keep them happy. And when I say microorganisms, I mean these are cells that are, they're little organisms. They're not you, they're not human, but they live symbiotically and they really have much more of an influence over how happy and healthy you are than even your own cellular functioning. We see this in skin issues, we see this in brain fog, we see this in how our immune system either over or under functions, not to mention very common gut health complaints like gas, bloating, stress, all of that. So when you can activate, and again, this differentiation of not just plopping in some probiotics, not just plopping in the prebiotics to feed the probiotics, but actually stimulate the production of those peptides, the things that your body already makes, that your body intelligently knows what to do with. You can then go ahead and influence all of those systems, all together. So the regulation part, I said regulate, repair, and restore. So this has to do with, like I said, the controlling of your digestion and nutrient absorption. I have told people working in the fitness space all the time, this phrase, you are what you eat, that's not true. That's not true. It's you are what you absorb. Because you can eat the healthiest foods, but if the lining of your gut is malfunctioning, you're not absorbing it. So that's where we get into the repair. So when you can repair that gut lining, when you can soothe and smooth it, then you can have just the right of permeability in that gut lining to help get the good things out into your system, to keep the bad things from leaking out so that they pass and you're not absorbing those toxins. And then the restoration, I know the older we get, the more stress we've been under, the more digestive issues we've had, the slower and more inadequate that restoration becomes, and it needs help. It needs the right support. So when we start to break down what goes into this, and I encourage you to go on the LifeVantage website, look at P84, look at all the beautiful ingredients, but nature makes this beautiful rainbow and of foods, and they all have different influences. So when we start to look at what influences regulation, you're going to see, and when you pour these packets in, you're going to see all these colors. You're going to see the greens and the oranges, and you're going to see these ingredients are the ones that help support that regulation. When we look at repair, those reds and the purples, I mean, look at all of these wonderful things that are going into this. And when I think about, I eat very healthy. I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. But those phytonutrients in this potency and in this ratio, this is what just signals, it's the information that signals the right things at the right time. And then same thing with the restore. And this is where we get into the right strains of probiotics. That bifidobacteria is a big one that's been in the news. It's missing in a lot of things that are out there. The prebiotics, the postbiotics, and I'll tell you, the digestive enzymes is a difference that makes a difference. Whether you have a good greens drink, whether you do get a lot of phytonutrients, whether or not you have good pre and pro and postbiotics, my guess is those digestive enzymes are missing. I know for me, this has been a difference that's made a lot of difference. And if you haven't seen our little pudding experiment video, please ask for it. We do a whole experiment on these digestive enzymes. It's really funny watch. So for you health nerds out there, LifeVantage, being a science-based company, did a study. When we brought on this product, we wanted to prove it was an activator. And our R&D team tested 14 key gut peptides. There are more. They had to hone in on a handful, something that was manageable for the study. They expected maybe 10 to get activated. All 14 that they tested were activated. So I'm just going to blast through this. These images are downloadable for you. You can screenshot them. We can send them over to you. I'm not going to dive into every single long word that they are, but you can just see each of these gut peptides, how they are influenced and what they were doing. A soother, a first responder to fire up digestion. So if you have sluggish digestion, that GRP is important. The traffic controller, so nutrients can move. You guys, digestion is a complex process. These are the regulators, the things that manage the energy and continue to support that next level of nutrient absorption. When you start to break down those nutrients, where are the fats going? Where are the proteins going? This stuff matters. And if you don't have the right signaling, it's not going to go where it needs to go. And the repairers, so to manage it, like I said, that gut lining repair, keeping the good in and the bad out, and ensure those barriers they have high integrity. You have peptides that are responsible for all of these things. And when you can rebuild, when you can get those cells and tissues working together, those tight junctions, leaky gut is such a huge thing out there that people are discovering they had and they didn't know what the source of their issues was. And you get those tight junctions working together and you don't have that leaking, makes all of the difference. You guys, this is huge to see this level of specific influence over these gut peptides from this P84. So what does all of that mean? I'll tell you, for a while now, I'd been contemplating and looking for a good greens drink. I knew even with a healthy diet, and especially in the winter months, I needed something else. I'd been looking for answers to some of the mental health things, and why I wasn't looking in the gut health area, I don't know. But what this means for you is those things that you might have not been nailing, you're going to nail, and you're going to nail it very, very simply. So please remember, every body is different. I'm sharing with you some of my personal stories. I've heard some other amazing stories. If you're not in our Facebook group where we share people's stories and experiences with these products, please do ask for an invitation to that so you can see that how this is impacting lives. We don't know. We don't know what it's going to do for you, but we can say that because the science is proven, it will address those root causes and start to do that regulation, repairing, and restoring for you. Because the synergies of the ingredients are so important to create that desired result from a product. And because synergy is kind of the name of the game with how we formulate everything at LifeVantage, we also look at the synergies of how products work together. So I do want to call your attention to this Healthy Edge stack. This is why I mentioned that Protandim NRF2 in the beginning. When you look at the stacks and bundles that are offered at a discount on the LifeVantage website, you'll see that bottle of Protandim NRF2 in every single one. And that is because it is so foundational. So when we look at what happens when we combine that Protandim NRF2 with the P84, and we call it the Healthy Edge stack because we do believe it gives you an edge on your health and well-being from those very foundational levels. That offense of P84, adding in all of that good stuff, is joined by that defense of Protandim NRF2. Like if you remember the story of the detoxification, the response of your own antioxidant production to help with that oxidative stress level. Oxidative stress, you may know it as free radical damage, inflammation, and you combine that together and you have a really powerful baseline support, restoring those cells, restoring those system communication. This isn't just about supplementing with some good nutrients. This is about helping those systems function optimally. And these two systems together really create that good baseline. So Protein Nrf2 has been around for a long time. It was a discovery that really did open up this whole category of activation. P84, I happen to know we have some other research studies going on in the background. We'll hear a little bit more about that in January. We'll hear even more about that come April when these stories start to these studies start to come out with their results that can be published. So I hope you stay tuned. My goal for this was to give you just enough information to start understanding how P84 can be a fundamental addition to your foundational health. There are so many things out there. There's so much confusion. I like to keep things really simple. And now, if I can go to those root issues, for me, that's ease. For me, that's clarity. For me, I can tell you 10 years in, it's definitely confidence. And for me, it was a proactive decision. So you might be sitting there, you might have some issues you're looking to kind of reactively or retroactively get back to a better foundation. That's totally fine. You might be thinking, I'm pretty healthy and I want to stay that way. That was me. And I can tell you the age and stage I'm in, and I look at my peers, I don't know what's coming down the line, but I can tell you I'm feeling pretty confident about my proactive decisions that I have made. I do feel like I had taken control where so many of my peers feel out of control, and you can get that edge. And I just want to highlight too, like I said, I would bring this all to where what does this mean for the whole direction of the wellness space? This gut peptide activation, this is the next wave of activation. We saw it coming when the GLP-1s were coming out. That's why LifeVantage responded with our natural GLP-1 activator. This gut health solution is really the next space in wellness. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more. I think we here at LifeVantage are ahead of the game as we usually are. And activation does change lives. We hear story after story. So if you're hearing this and thinking, wow, like not only do I want to take care of my foundational levels of health, whether that's proactively or reactively, I know other people want the same. So if that's you, if you want to put some extra cash in your pocket for the referrals that you make, if you want to cover the cost of your product, or if you're thinking a little bit bigger and want to create a second source of income, whether that's small time or part time or big time, I'm not going to go into that in this presentation, but just know the entire industry, the entire wellness industry is watching what is happening here. The other companies that are in this space, we are completely leapfrogging over them because of our science of activation. This really is incredible, high integrity science. And I do believe it is a breakthrough moment bringing this gut peptide activation to market. So if you want to be a part of that, if you want to explore what that could look like, how that could benefit you, not only activating your own gut peptides, but helping other people start their activation journey as well, there's a conversation to be had there as well. And with that, I'm going to wrap. Thank you so much for listening, for tuning in. If you did hear something inspiring today, please do reach out to the person who invited you here, and we are here to help. Thank you so much.